Hey, Justin Arnold back here again with One Step Further, a podcast where we take things you may or may not be doing and just maybe go a little bit further into your life, whether it be personally, professionally, or spiritually. I brought in Ryan Hogan here, a fellow gym owner similar to me out west, to kind of chat about right now with Corona and everything going on and social distancing, social isolation, on just our morning routines, things that we do to keep discipline and why it's super important. So why don't you introduce yourself, Ryan, and kind of
Sure.
tell a little bit about yourself and then go with it.
Yeah, man. Thanks, Justin. Appreciate it. My name is Ryan Hogan. Like Justin said, I'm a fellow gym owner out in California, Ventura County, California. So I've been in the health and fitness industry a long time. So in a nutshell, I consider myself a pretty disciplined person because that's what I have to teach my people that I coach and train and whatnot. So I consider myself a pretty disciplined person, and we're in interesting times right now because that's testing us. You know, these times are testing us in that realm where we can easily kind of wake up later and kind of just kind of back off if we want to. Right now, we have all the time in the world. So yeah, like Justin said, we're going to talk about some morning routines and how important that is. And I think where it starts is the morning, like literally the first thing you are doing when you wake up. And it may even start with what time you're setting your alarm. Like I think a lot of us, I know I was just telling Justin before this, I can easily probably sleep until, 7:30, maybe even get away with 8 o'clock, by the time we get rolling with our kids. Speaking of kids. Yeah.
Our lifestyle.
By the time we get rolling with one of those things. So yeah, I mean, I've decided, especially in the last week or so, to kind of set my alarm maybe 5 minutes earlier each time. That way I can get back to when I was waking up at 6 or even before 6 and get on with my day. Because it's amazing what an extra hour in your day will do. And then make sure I'm still going through what I was doing before when I was going to work on a regular basis, when I was going to the gym and then getting my run in at a certain time on certain days and try to mimic that as much as possible. So
yeah, I think it's really, and that's the thing, like I'm going to go over my morning routine a little bit, but the whole thing is like, you do have a lot of time. So when you have a lot of time, your mind can wander, and it can go from you scrolling through social media, you can go through depression, anxiety, stress, feeling fear, which actually can, when Ryan will agree and can throw his 2 cents in on, but it can actually weaken your immune system. And that's one of the things we want strong right now. Like outside,
Absolutely.
like our hands, wearing a mask and staying 6 feet apart. The next best thing, or I would say kind of ties in, is your immune system. And one of the best things is keeping those down. And that's why we're talking about getting disciplined. So getting structured, like I'm still waking up at 4:40 every morning. I am still doing some virtuals and some online training, but I want to stick to a routine and very disciplined because it keeps a healthy mind, body, and like just spirit, so I can help keep my cortisol levels. You probably heard those words. When those are really high, your hormones get thrown off, which can, which can really add to a weakened immune system. A weakened immune system means you're going to be a lot more susceptible to getting sick, like the corona. And even if you get sick, with it being weakened, you have a higher chance of it getting pretty bad too. So.
Sure.
So if we want to decrease those levels of not only getting it, but if you do get it, that your body can fight it off pretty well. So that's kind of why we're here to talk about discipline, morning routine, breathing, meditation, whatever we can, and why how you start your day is super important, because everybody starts their day. We all wake up in the morning, hopefully. And when you wake up, whether you know it or not, your mind is going somewhere. It's either going happy thoughts or sad thoughts or somewhere in between. And so we want to start that on a positive note, because that will set the tone for the rest of your day. So that's the things that we're doing to kind of set the tone, because what we do in the morning, again, transforms in the rest of the day and who we're around and what we do. So why don't you kind of go over what you do in the morning, Brian? I'll kind of chit chat about what I do.
Sure. I mean, it kind of varies a couple of days depending on work and stuff like that. But generally, I try to wake up. Like I said, I'm waking up 5 minutes earlier each day just so I can get back to my regular hour. But I wake up. I wake up and I hit the shower right away. I wake up, and it's not like a wash yourself, shower. It's just a wake up shower. And I have to do that every morning. If I don't, I feel like I'm sleeping all day long. So I have to do that. even if I know I'm going to be running 15 minutes later. I'm a long distance runner, so I do a lot of running in the mountains and hills, which I haven't been able to do lately, but that was my thing. So I'm trying to stick to that as close as possible. So I hit the shower, I have my pre and probiotic in the morning, I head downstairs, I might have a little snack, and then my kids are already up, which they generally are now. They're just kind of hanging out. I feed them breakfast, and then I head out the door for a run if I can. But that's my time to think about my day. And, I would suggest if anybody's trying to get into a healthy routine, or they're going to start these home workouts that everybody's putting out, do it in the morning, do it right away. That's the only time that you have to win that hour, right? Or even that half an hour. You have to win the morning. Otherwise the rest of the day is just going to take over. Yes. And then frankly, when it comes down to our mindset, we can tell each other anything we want. We can say we don't have time, or shoot, I missed my alarm and I can't work out now. And, I'll just get it in the evening, when we know damn well we won't. So just do it in the morning. Set your alarm an hour earlier if you have to, knowing that you probably won't want to do it later. So just win the morning. That's all I can say is just win the morning, man.
I love what you said there, because I agree more. Like, the reason I have 3 kids, you have children, like, waking up early is the one time you can get to yourself, where you can, meditate, where you can read, where you can go for a run, where you can exercise, where you can I'll get to it later. If you say that, you never do.
You're not going to do it.
Yeah. So we both do some similar stuff. For example, when I wake up, first thing I do is I go down, I actually put headphones in to get some positive vibrations going on. So I listen to some affirmations or positive sounds, even just musical tone, vibrations actually have a positive effect. And so while I'm doing that, I'm having my probiotic, I'm having my tea, and then I am going through that. It's about 5-10 minutes of my day. And then I'm meditating, I'm reading a Bible through my Bible app, usually a Bible plan. That takes about 10 more minutes. Then I'm doing something, either it's mobility most of the time, but some days I just want to wreck out an ab routine or push-ups, but I keep it about 8 to 10 minutes. And then I follow it up with journaling, going over my goals. And then I'm always about 10 minutes or so in a personal development group or book. And that's about less than an hour of my morning. And then my kids are waking up and I'm feeding them. I sometimes take a cold shower in the morning just to kind of wake up and shock the body. But I still wake up at 4:40 every morning. Still, even now, I have discipline. Yeah, because I'm in this routine. And that routine, yes, it doesn't mean I'm ignoring what's going on in the world, but it helps me balance it out a lot better. So I'm not reactional and freaking out and stressing, because that is super, super important. You wanted to say something, I can tell.
No. I mean, you hit it right there. And to be honest, for those of you who's ever going to watch this, if you have not dropped the people out of your life that are constantly throwing out there, you got to do it now. Trust me, you're not going to hurt their feelings. As a matter of fact, they've been hurting yours more than anything. So if you keep seeing, I've already unfollowed probably 3 or 4 people that I know pretty well.
Yeah.
I had to unfollow them because it was just a constant bombardment of negativity, and maybe they mean well, but
no, it's
not for me. It's not for me.
If it's constant doom, I I didn't remove everybody, but I started muting articles or muting certain people that it's constant.
Yeah.
And your feed, while it's still informational, but it's not as apocalyptic and the world is going to end tomorrow, because all things are happening, some bad things, and it's going to stay where we also want to know that you still need to live. And this is a time to take care of yourself. When have people had, now some people are busier because they're filling out grants and paperwork, but when have you had all this time where you're not the drive time, for example, you're saving, and some of this other things where you can focus on yourself, focus on your family, focus on you, and that in the morning. So what I wanted to get to too, after that morning routine is, one of the things that they've even shown, psychologists talking now, a real simple thing, we just talk about all that we do and there's no way I'm going to do that. So one thing I like to say is just start with breathing. Maybe wake up 10 minutes early. You can download apps. If you don't know how, there's YouTube videos on how to freaking meditate. It's really pretty simple, but it could just be, the big thing is longer exhales. That has been shown to seriously lower stress level. And something I do a box breathing sometimes, where I'll breathe in for 4, hold for 4, and exhale for 8 is a prime example. But the reason for the longer exhales, it can release a lot of the stress. It can lower your heart rate actually. And again, it can help balance out your hormones. Some of those stressor hormones where that fight or flight or what, again, decreases your immune system that you can just simply do by breathing and meditating. You do that
Yeah.
3 times a day for 10 minutes, morning, midday, and night. You can even see, even without even changing your diet, which obviously we highly recommend, it can drastically improve your immune function, your
Absolutely.
function, your energy, your personality. Like people think that you need that midday nap. I found just simply meditating for 10
Oh
minutes
yeah.
and like having ocean waves play in the background, huge.
Yeah. Yeah. No, meditation is awesome. I mean, and there's different forms of it, right? Some people love to actually sit there and meditate. I'm terrible at it. I've tried it. I'm just terrible at it. My meditation for me is going out and actually running and forcing myself to breathe out and to get it all out.
That is a form of meditation.
It is a form of meditation. I mean, my mind, put it this way, I have never come up with a great idea, whether personally or in business, when I've just sat at my desk or stared at a wall trying to think of an idea. I've come up with everything every time I've either been exercising or running. And then I'm pissed because I don't have like a notepad to write it down, but every time the good ideas always come on a run.
I will agree with the workout. I will also, for me, just for everyone that doesn't know me, like, I don't want to say I have ADD. I hate giving titles to anything, but like, I'm one of those people that like is go, 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 like Energizer Bunny. So for me, it was really hard to sit down, but I will say I've had some really good like almost daydreaming meditation. So where I'm not counting the breathing, but I'm just, the only thing I focus on is like positive breaths and just making sure that I'm very vocal and long exhales. That's it. Like, that's how simple I'll keep it sometimes. And I've had like some of my great ideas from that. And for somebody that's always go, 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 I found that while it was hard to do it, when I got into a routine, a very disciplined routine of doing it, man, it definitely calmed me down. It relaxed me, and my brain wasn't all over those places. So people who are like me, who feel like their brains are running a mile a minute and they're ADHD or they think they might be, definitely that's why I would recommend getting in discipline for sure, getting in meditation, but definitely a discipline, a morning routine if you can, a night routine, and like just very structured throughout the day, because everything's been thrown at us and it's like, oh, our normal life is not our normal life, but now this is the new normal and we got to adjust to it, especially if we want to be, you know, the light, especially if we want to still be successful. We still can be successful. Success might look totally different, and it may not be like monetarily, but it could just be personally. You could come out of this thing as the best version of yourself because you read every self-help book or whatever during every John Maxwell book that's out there or something. So
but getting into routine is key, man. You hit the nail on the head there. I'll speaking of books, I'll actually mention one book. It's called The Power of Full Engagement, and that's what they talk about. And one of the things they talk about, with including heart rate and what makes certain athletes, you know, why is Roger Federer so much better than the other tennis players? They're all great tennis players. They're all professional. They're all grown men. But why is he so much better? Why is Roger? Why is Nadal so much better? Why is Djokovic so much better? And they did studies. The reason why has nothing to do with their talent level. They were noticing they had a better and more consistent routine between the points. Whereas opposed to the guys that were going down and sitting down on the bench, they were flustered, they were frustrated, they didn't know what to do. They you know, if you ever watch Nadal play, he's got his bottles turned a certain way, his towels a certain way, he's very regimented, because that keeps him calm, that keeps him relaxed. And once he's thrown off of that, he's no longer relaxed. And same thing with Roger Federer and all these other guys. And I started to notice that across the board with people in general, and across all sports.
I bet he had something, and then he wasn't on his game is when he was like thrown off.
Yeah, so I mean, the reason why certain basketball players have a certain routine when they shoot free throws is because that's what works. That's what keeps them calm, as opposed to somebody
player. Look at goalies. Yeah. You always see them. They have their thing. Everyone's got a little bit
most superstitious, and it's just to keep them calm, because that's what calms them down. But if we have people, which is very prevalent right now, people going through each and every day wondering what the hell is going on, waking up every morning trying to figure it out, and they haven't dialed it in yet, that's never going to end. They're never going to find that consistency.
I think it's some people out there too, they just think they're being helpful by posting every freaking article. And like, you know what, the information is coming in so fast. And for those that also don't know, I'm married to somebody that is a journalist who works in the news industry. Yeah. The information is still constantly changing, like a month later, and things are just coming in constantly all the time. And so like, it's like you never know. So it's kind of like somebody said, I'll wait for the miniseries. I don't know if that's entirely true if you want to wait that long, but like the point is, you just like take it one day at a time, maybe just get a snippet in the middle of the day. I wouldn't recommend in the beginning or the end. In the middle of the day, kind of what, if you want to go to the CDC or something on this stuff, but get into that and spend, set a clock, because you can get really lost. You can start looking at the comments. You can look at the articles, and I know people can be that way, so I'm just giving these recommendations, but get in that disciplined morning routine, get in some kind of form of meditation if you can, and whether it is kind of running, and just kind of try to find ways to relax. The other thing I'm seeing, reason I want to bring this up, is a lot of the workouts I'm seeing for free and that are put out there are almost very intense, which is probably fine for some, but then for others, if you're already dealing with that stress, we don't want to over stress the central nervous system. So I don't want to go down another rabbit hole. That's something like a totally different episode, but this is why I'm talking about calming, discipline, structure, routine. If you don't know, reach out to Ryan or I. We'll probably put our contacts up below here, because that's all we want to do with this. So anything you want to add, Ryan?
No, man. I mean, we didn't really talk about the night routine, but I think ending your day on a positive note is another one, because good sleep is by far probably one of the most important things through this whole thing. And if you're going to sleep listening to the news or watching the news and it's negative stuff, that's what's going to be in your head when your head hits the pillow. So I would suggest turn it off early. Don't even watch TV past 5, and just, like Justin said, you could even do what your morning routine was again in the evening. So another meditation session, another reading session. You got to go to bed feeling good.
My night routine, it varies. I'm consistent that I do something, but it's not as consistent lately. But I will say, like, my night routine is, I would encourage people to, like, if you're not doing one, just start with 10 minutes. And it could be 10 minutes of reading a favorite book. It could be 10 minutes of meditating. It could just be 10 minutes of complete silence. I 10 minutes, because it's an easy thing anybody can carve out. It could be you're laying in your bed and you're just going to bed 10 minutes sooner, and all you're doing is daydreaming and breathing. And right there, you can fall asleep quicker. And then maybe add to it, you're like, man, this is really good. Maybe you add a bath or a hot tub or whatever you got. Maybe it's you're reading a nice, calming personal development book. Maybe it's the Bible. Whatever it looks like to you, definitely have some kind of night routine too. But I like to make those a little bit shorter. Like, I journal at night. Like, but I make it real quick. My morning journaling is 10 minutes. My night journaling is like 5. 3 best things that happen in the day. So begin my day with, I write down 5 things I'm grateful for. And the night, 3 of the best moments of the day. It'll get you looking at your days and your week a lot better. Trust me, I never used to journal because I didn't get it. Now it's like, when I look at each day, I was like, my day wasn't so bad. You say, oh, I had a bad day. And then you actually really look at it. It's like, or you look at, man, that was a horrible week. But when you actually keep track of it, you're like, I'll look back at my week. I was like, man, this week, like, I did that last week, and I was like thinking everything was gloom and doom. I was like, man, I had a really great week last week, even amongst all this Corona stuff. So I think it's really cool to kind of, you don't have to completely journal, but writing stuff down, taking notes, you can look at a bunch of different ways is super helpful. That's been helpful for me anyway. So
no, that's awesome, man. Yeah, I mean, definitely writing stuff down helps, because I think people do tend to focus on the negative because that's easy. Focusing on the negative is an easy thing to do because that's what sticks in our mind. But to actually think about what happened that's good, it's actually kind of hard to do. But when you start writing down all the good, generally it outweighs the bad. But we tend to focus as human beings on the negative because that's easy and that's what we felt the most.
Yeah.
We feel the negative most. Positivity happens, but a lot of times it's mild, unless it's like we won the lottery or something like that. Then of course that just makes your year, right? But if it's even just, somebody said hi to you, like, how often does that happen? Somebody says hi to you. That was kind of cool, but we're going to forget about that 5 minutes down the road if we just keep walking. But if we journal it like you, we can remember, like, oh yeah, that person said hi to me. That's
and then when I write it down, I remember I can go back and look at my previous weeks, and it's kind of cool. And like, it can make me also like remember the little moments, because some of my best moments of the day are little moments. Like today, one of the things I'm going to write down is like, something my kids and I were doing in the front yard today that's small, but it was such a cool thing. So, and I noticed that when I do these journaling like thing, it doesn't have to be big. It doesn't have to be like, I just made $1 million, or I just sold this, or I just made a sale, or whatever your job is, or I just got a new client. It could be, man, I had a phone call with an old friend that I hadn't talked to in a while.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Simple stuff, man. Simple things in life, dude.
Yeah. So this is the part here at the end where, like, I like to wrap it up and just kind of give people, like, what's one thing they could do or take away. I like to challenge them to take their step further. So something I like to throw out is just like, if you're not really doing a routine, just do something. Like, carve out, either wake up 10 minutes, keep it simple, progressive. You don't want to overload it like in a workout. We don't come in 12 where we're bench pressing 200 when we haven't even bench pressed. So if you've never done a morning routine, I challenge you to do 10 minutes and pick something you really like that you know that you could do for the next month, because here at the beginning of April, and we're definitely in this for the next month. And then you're feeling pretty good about it. Just keep adding like 5 or 10 minutes of activities for movement. I would suggest reading or meditation, or adding all 3. And then at night, same idea. Pretty simple. What about you? Anything you want to challenge people on?
Get outside.
Get outside.
Get outside every day. I mean, that's what I tell everybody, even here. That's a big part of my life. So I always say get outside. Like I said, I've never come up with a good idea just staring at a wall inside. Never. It's always been outside. That's where we, as human beings, I think, feel the most natural. But it's, we've suppressed that for so long. But it's funny with this whole coronavirus and how we're told to stay inside. I know when I go outside now, and trust me, I go outside every day. I still run. I'm seeing people, and I'm passing a little bit of judgment on this. I know I'm seeing people that normally would not be doing that. Normally wouldn't be running. Normally wouldn't be running. Normally wouldn't be biking. I'm just passing judgment, but that's just me.
No,
I'm observing. But I think people have realized, like, okay, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it now. Otherwise, I've completely lost. I've completely lost out on this situation. I've completely let the ball drop on the amount of time I have. So I would just say, get outside a lot. Do your phone calls outside. You know what I mean? You don't have to be sitting inside.
What I found too, like I'm doing more of these as phone calls, like Zoom calls. I'm like, instead of somebody's like, hey, let's get on a call that would normally be a call anyways, like, let's do a Zoom call.
Yeah.
Like it's even like challenged me, which is I'm like, man, now I don't even want to do anything other than FaceTime calls from here on out. So
I know
there's some positive, like my daughter, there's a lot of positive. And I think that's the other thing. Like, while there's a lot to be upset about, we can, every single one, even if you have a job or not, has a reason to be depressed. Trust me, him and I both don't have gyms. We really don't have an income coming in right now. But we're still finding a lot to be grateful for and be positive. And I just want to leave you that no matter where you're at, look around you, start writing down some of the great things in your life. And that's will change your mindset. And you'll see your life isn't as bad as it really thinks is. And it'll actually create a domino effect of positivity and great things happening in your life, because what you think about first thing in the morning throughout the day is kind of where your life leads. So just remember that. Is it positive or is it negative? And it continues to go down that route, because I don't want to hear any more of blame and all that kind of stuff. So cool. Yeah.
We're in this together, man. We're in this together.
So if people want to get a hold of you, they want to find you, they want to reach out to you, throw some info out there.
Yeah, on Instagram, I'm at Human Hybrid Athletics. So Human Hybrid Athletics, or Ryan Hogan. Facebook, Ryan Hogan. So my gym is called Human Hybrid Athletics. But yeah, hit me up. Let me know if you want to, talk or whatever it is. I'm just throwing out general information right now. And, my gym was a personal training gym, or is a personal training gym. So I spent a lot of time doing that. But the one good thing about this, like Justin said, there's a lot of good out of this, that we're doing more like this now. And I actually can't wait to on the back end when all this is kind of over, because I'm not going to stop doing this. This has been very rewarding, and it's kind of got me in a new avenue, and
it's got
it's going well.
People in other states and elsewhere with this, and him and I both also are Arbonne consultants, so we do nutrition through that. So like, this has opened our eyes up to a whole new world of things, and we're just here to serve and help. And if you got any questions, we'll put some of that contact stuff below, but go ahead and reach out to us, because at the end of the day, now's the time when you have it.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for tuning in today. Hope you enjoyed it. If you do, give it a like, share, subscribe, all that great stuff. And we'll catch you on the next episode. Take care.
Thanks, guys.